There's a man in the woods? What a spectacle. Before the story started, the school was still respectable. My students used to skip down the hill to the honeysuckle, pluck a couple, or collect their nectar till they picked their fill, except one obnoxious kid, who just watched them eat the flowers while he seethed and scowled because he couldn't bear to share sweet treats throughout our recess hour. I remember Sid saying, "There's a man in the woods." That's how the rumors began. Of course, Sid had spotted him first. The poor kids. He got them immersed in a spill about a serial killer whose gun barrel hits at peril. A visit to the nurse or worse, a hearse waiting just beyond the dell. The children saw him everywhere. "Look over there! That man had Batman ears! We swear! And crazy yellow eyes! We saw something rusty. His shotgun? It must be! I saw a lady's severed thigh!" Trust me, every word I've heard was absurd. Yet each day, Sid would straight down, way past the playground. Who else was brave enough to save us from the killer's next plot? The rest of the lot would stop back at the blacktop, sure that any closer they're found deep in the woods left to rot. I pleaded for the kids to think and learn to be mature. But after a few more rumors, through my attempts to prove the school was secure, the fear was undeterred. And when the buses drove them all home, their parents finally heard. Everything just blew up. I received a wall of emails and calls full of shrieks and wails, all from terrified families who's heard every word of the murder and didn't like my lack of action at all. What else I was supposed to do? Come the whole force? Yeah. Right, would you? That doesn't mean I didn't care. That's not fair. The stories that worried you weren't true. Of course I would feel regret had there been a real threat and I ignored it. And some poor kid got kidnapped while the kids were napping. But you couldn't admit your little kid formulated a fib, so he ignored what I said. Your little angels can never cook up such incredible creation. An overactive imagination maybe, but my kid could never lie. How dare I accuse a child of being dishonest? Just monstrous. The parents were displeased, and when the PTA took action, they dismissed him from the classroom, right? They knew what was best for their kids. You know how difficult it is to get a job when a bitter mom slanders your rep with child neglect from the outset? Who's in control of your classes? Single file lines. Single file lines. The little child trying to kill her by the pines, really? Are you blind when you find your spine? Sid, a child, decides to fill our minds with lies, and the next thing you see is that people treating me like I've committed crimes. I was in my prime. Those kids were lucky to have me. Do you see what you did? But I can play along. I can be good. You hear that, Sid? There's a man in the woods.